Hello, it's Father David Nix. Hope you all are doing well. And maybe first 60 seconds here is not for kids. A friend and I have been following the conversion of a man named Roosh. Roosh was a man who has ensnared, seduced, I'll still use PG language, thousands and thousands of women and written the books, literally the books on how men can also seduce thousands of women. He's taught this to tens of thousands of men. And we've watched with great interest, my friend and I, who've been texting back and forth about Roosh at his new conversion to Russian Orthodoxy, specifically the Rokor Church. And it's fascinating to watch his conversion not only on matters of Sixth and Ninth Commandment, but also his conversion on just pride. And he really starting to sound like one of the Eastern Church fathers on these things. And I've been saying to people, and I've been saying, I wouldn't say this online, but I've been saying to people, with all of the doctrinal scandals all the way up to the top in the Catholic Church, I'm embarrassed to be Catholic. I'm embarrassed to make conversions to the Catholic Church. And I still reached out to Roosh, say, hey, I'd love to talk to you about Catholicism. But inside, in my heart, I'm like, man, this is tough for a dude who's being brought to really intense fasting and the church fathers and stuff to probably be, showing a lot of interest as we have not only these scandals of priests and kids, but these doctrinal scandals that nobody wants to talk about. Well, a few people want to talk about it. Okay, so I'm going to bring that back in a minute, put that on the back burner. For some of you, it's Corpus Christi Sunday, and for those in the Latin Mass world, it's either Corpus Christi Sunday or the second Sunday after Pentecost. And if you are in that latter group, including me, since I celebrated Corpus Christi back here on Thursday, you had Luke 14. I got my little Greek Bible here. I'm going to tell you a few things from that. So Luke 14 is about the Pharisees are given this great banquet and they reject it. They all have an excuse to not come into that banquet. So when there's a time of great doctrinal and hierarchical scandal, I tend to think that's the time we say, let's pull up the drawbridge. It's embarrassing. Why would Jesus want to make converts to Israel in a time like that? But the last line really convicted me. Honestly, caused a small conversion in my life. This is from Luke 14, 22 and 23 and 24. So I'm going to look right in the Greek here and kind of give my own translation. He says, Exelthe estas hudas kai phragmus, which is go out until the hot, and I'm going to give you a little translation from my Zondervan Protestant Bible. This Bible is really cool because it gives you any word in Greek that is less than 30 times occurring in the New Testament. It gives you a definition on that page. That's the key. On that page for any word that occurs less than 30 times, which is about exactly my level of knowing the Greek. So our Lord says, Exelthe estas hudos, which is go out into the highways. It means the ways. They had these cities that were walled off back then. And the ways, we think of the way as following Christ, which is certainly but once you went out of these towns back in ancient Israel, it got a little bit more dangerous there. And then the next word is phragmus, and that's one of the words I don't know. So you can look down right there at 54, and it says phragmus means fence, wall, or hedge. So that's why I'm calling this one right here. Sorry if that made you all dizzy. Go out into the highways and the hedges. And then he says, and anakason, translated as strongly urge, and then the next word is aselthem, strongly urge them to come in. Hina gemiste, that's the passive verb of to be filled, and then mu oikos. Oikos, as you know, if you ever eat that yogurt, just means house. It's everyone's favorite Greek word to use in English. It's also where we get economy and all those other words. So let me just put that all together. Go out into the highways and the hedges and strongly urge them to come in so that my house might be filled. So Jesus said this in a time when the hierarchy was a great embarrassment to him. And so this really, really convicted me today to be like, you know what? Yeah, we got some huge problems in the Catholic Church right now. And this is not the time for me to stop Street evangelization, I was pretty close to stopping. I'm like, why should I go out and hand out miraculous medals? Why should I be prayed at the abortion clinic? Why don't I just complain about things online? But this really convicted me today. Even when there is hierarchical scandals and even infiltration and major problems, still Jesus, not still, because of that, Jesus says, forget about them. Go out into the highways and hedges, strongly urge them to enter in so that my house might be full. So anyway, this is just a short one. Sorry I was rambling. We're just going to cut it off here because the real point that I'm trying to make is we got to go bring in all of the people who are the least likely candidates for baptism, confession, Holy Eucharist, and bring them into the church. Let's go get them. Yeah, people have to wear modest clothes. People have to change their lives and stuff to make a good confession and stuff. But when there comes a time when the people who should be enjoying the gifts of the old Israel do not answer, then you go and you get the weirdos and bring them into the new Israel. And I think it's the same thing, that when people have gotten so unthankful for the richness of our Catholic tradition, let's go get in the least likely candidates so that Christ's house might be full. God bless you all.